Morning guys, so I'm going to talk to you today about good quality web design and why it's important and what it looks like and what to look out for so that you guys can know more about it. So every website should be more than just a pretty face. SEO and good quality web design is all about user experience, making it optimized for those users. But for one moment, as we are on the brink of being able to go back into cafes and that sort of thing, I want you to forget about websites and think about all the delicious cafes that are popping up all over the place. Now, when you're considering which one you would like to go to first, you probably aren't going to choose one that hasn't been updated in the last 5 years. Perhaps there's coffee stains still all over the seats, or there's that scuff on the wall from where everybody bangs the door when they come in, and that's going to put you off, isn't it? Okay. If it doesn't have a menu or a display cabinet, perhaps when you got no idea what it is that they actually sell, then you can't choose what you want to eat or what you'd like to drink and that sort of thing. If it's exactly the same as the one next door, there's nothing that makes it stand out. There's no reason to choose it. If you've already got loyalties to different cafes and that sort of thing, then you're going to stick with what you know. Again, if it doesn't have any reviews or recommendations, there's no reason to go there yet. Let other people try it out first. If there's nothing to suggest that it's worth spending your money in and worth that first trip out into a cafe, you're not going to choose it. And you may find that the service is very slow or disorganized. That would put you off. Perhaps it's not clear whether you wait at the bar for your drink or you go and sit down, and all these sorts of things are factors in deciding which cafe you're going to go to. And then the last one, not only is it a cafe, but it sells TVs, pets and haircuts. They can't possibly be brilliant at all of those, and therefore you would also be put off about choosing. So forget about the cafe for now and back to websites. I would ask you to consider that a website should be judged by the same factors as the cafe. And those people who are making those judgments are clients and customers, but also Google. Okay, so I think SEO can be quite a confusing thing, but actually, all you need to think about is if the customer would like it, Google would like it. Okay, so if we think about that down here, if it hasn't been updated in the last 5 years, so is it keeping up with current Google best practice, but also current design trends and things? Are they nice big images that people like to look at? People are lazy and don't like to read, basically. And has it been updated? Is it looking fresh? Does it have a menu or display cabinet? Or online, does it have a clear focus what the business is about? So many websites that we look at, they just don't make it clear what the business actually does. And so if we can't understand it when we're trying to, potential customers and clients will just bounce right off, okay? But if Google does not understand what your business is about, they cannot reward you with brilliant rankings, okay? If it's exactly the same as another business, why would people choose this business? Why would people choose this website? So you need to make the business stand out, either with fantastic imagery, Fiona, or fantastic content, Donna, or what the services they actually offer. If the website doesn't have any reviews or recommendations, Google and customers are less likely to use this business, okay? Same thing, think of them as being the same thing. So if the website is very slow loading or disorganized, so it's quite easily stuck in a rabbit hole and it's not clear how to make contact with the business or how to buy a product or that sort of thing, people are less likely to buy from them. And Google knows these things, and therefore they are now, as of May, introducing very strict penalties, apparently, onto websites that are either slow loading or jumpy to load and that sort of thing. Okay, so those are things that we're really looking out for. Also, businesses that aren't clear what they do. So I talked a little bit about not being very clear, but businesses that try and do everything, so TVs, pets, haircuts, and a cafe, Google doesn't know which one to see them as, which one to give them authority for, and therefore gives them authority for nothing. Okay, so but same for people. You would not trust somebody that was fantastic or was selling themselves as doing all of these things, because nobody could be an expert in all of those areas. Okay, so that's a little bit in a nutshell of considering Google with people. So to try and illustrate this further, I have just thrown together this little homepage thing. And I can tell from there that they have unique and rare first edition books to buy, and it's a physical shop, so that's a good thing. But there are lots of things that I don't know, so therefore I'm unlikely to make contact with them or to buy a book from them or anything like that, okay? Whereas if we think of something like this, which has a specific place in the title. So this part here that has the unique and rare first edition books to buy in Derby, that's telling Google a location. It's not just telling Google a location though, it's telling your customers or the clients or the potential visitors of this shop, it's telling them where this business is, therefore whether or not it is relevant to them. There's also a bit of information. Google's very intelligent these days, and if you're talking around the topic of Charles Dickens and Tennyson and Frankenstein and those sorts of texts, then Google is going to know that that is relevant text to first edition books, and therefore relevant content tells me you know what you're on about. But not only Google, the visitors, they can see that this is a knowledgeable, they know what they're on about, this company, okay? I've then put in a little shop now button to make it clear. Oh, yeah, well, I might as well just see what they've got to buy. And then I've also put two little buttons, which I wouldn't put buttons like that on a website, but I would put them on somehow to make them stand out. So as seen on the one show, that is a nationally known show. If this shop was shown on that TV program, people would think, well, if it was on there, that must mean it's trustworthy. That must mean I can trust them with my money. Okay, also recommended by your gran, a word of mouth referral. Okay, so something to really consider with websites is that a link coming into your website is a bit like a referral, and the more specific that link is, the better. So if Waterstones, for example, were giving a link to John Sandoe books, Waterstones would be a really authoritative website. Google sees that and thinks Waterstones are recommending them, that must mean they deserve authority. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing. Whatever in real life people think would be a bonus, a thumbs up, a referral, Google sees the same thing.